What to do, YouTube? MGM for Life here. Back again, bringing you another edition of How to Beat Current Decks in the Meta, March 2013. Today we're featuring mermails, and it's kind of funny because everything's come full circle. Because first we did a video on how to beat mermails. Now mermails are in the spotlight this time. And the reason why is because mermails have been getting slowly obsolete. Abyss Megalo dropped to like 40% in price. It was like dracossack expensive, and now it's only about $60, which is still expensive. But it's all because of evil swarms. Mainly because of evil swarms, but then once after that, when Tachyon came out with spellbooks, got their full power, and then Dragon Rulers came out. Mermails just slid down the ladder. They were at one point hands down best deck, and now they're maybe top four behind Mermails, Dragon Rulers, and spellbooks. Or not Mermails, I said Mermails, Evil Swarms. And the problem is that first of all, as fast as Mermails are, Dragon Rulers are just faster, which is crazy to think that something could be faster than mermails. But Dragon Rulers are faster, spellbooks are faster, and then Evil Swarms, hey, I don't care about your Abyss Megalo because I've got Ophion, and Ophion says no. And that's kind of the problem mainly. I mean, when Ophion comes out against the mermails, they have a tough time getting over that. In fact, people have gone back to the old Gen X Undying build to try to deal with that, and I personally never liked that build to begin with. I think Gen X Undying is overrated. And people are starting to run that more to deal with the evil swarms, but it's just not as effective once Ophion comes out, because especially if they have Ophion plus all those cards to protect it, and now they're playing XYZ Reborn, so it's like, okay, you destroy it and I'll just bring it right back. I don't even care. So now you wasted your normal summon and you still can't summon anything good. So in order to deal with this, we're going to have to take out all the monsters that are level 5 or higher so that we can stand a chance against evil swarms. And all the mermail players are going to go, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? But listen, just listen, okay? Ophion wrecks you if you have those big monsters, so we're going to have to take them out. I'm sorry, but we're going to have to find a new way to play mermails, and I have finally found that way, guys. And it revolves around this card, not Abyss Megalo, but this card, Bahamut Shark. And if you don't know this card's effect, it is 2 level 4 water monsters, so it's right there. It's also rank 4, so you don't get destroyed by Ophion, and it says once per turn, detach one XYZ material from this card, and special summon one rank 3 or lower water XYZ monster from your extra deck. This card cannot declare attack for the rest of the turn. Now that's the key phrase in the effect. It says for the rest of the turn, so you can actually attack and then activate this effect main phase 2, because during main phase 2 you will not be attacking for the rest of the turn. Kind of just like how Battling Boxer Spar can be special summoned during main phase 2 even after you've attacked. So that's another plus to this card. But anyway, so what we're going to be doing is we're going to build our deck around this card. One, because it only involves level 4s and it's a rank 4, so Ophion doesn't destroy us, and we can also lock our opponent down by special summoning Acid Golem from our deck. So what we can do here is use Bahamut Shark effect, special summon Acid Golem, and it will have no material, so it won't be able to attack. And during each standby phase, whoever controls it will take 2,000 damage, and they also won't be able to special summon. So we can lock decks down from special summoning, burn them for 2,000 each turn, and have an invincible wall on their side of the field. And you pull out Acid Golem against Dragon Rulers and Evil Swarms, they can't deal with this card, especially if they don't have, for Evil Swarms, they need Dark Hole, or it's Dark Hole or bust, pretty much. I don't think there's anything in the Evil Swarm deck that can deal with this. They can't special summon. I mean, they can get their normal summons with Caster, but that's it. You're going to have 2,600 Bahamut Shark on the field, and they can't do anything to get over that. As far as Dragon Rulers, they're only out since they're so overconfident, they don't even play Dark Hole, which is a whole nother story of stupidity, but they're only out then, if they're not playing Dark Hole, is Blaster plus another fire monster. And sometimes that's difficult to have when you play Dragon Ruler. Sometimes you just don't have the other fire monster. You might have the wind, the earth, or the water one together. Sometimes you just don't have 2 fire monsters in your hand to use Blaster's effect, and it can be challenging to get that to happen. So, and then they can't special summon. So if they're going to be locked down, if they don't have that, they're going to be locked down. The only deck that doesn't really mind is spellbooks, unfortunately, because Spellbook of Fate is a thing, so they're just like, I don't care, I'll just banish 3 and then banish this thing off my field and then drop my High Priestess and go for more shenanigans. So spellbooks, you still have a tough matchup, I say. Mermails still have a tough matchup against spellbooks, but then hey, that's what the side deck is for, is it not? You special summon Acid Golem, prohibit that Spellbook of Fate. Well, now they're stuck too. They can't really do much either. So if you're going up against spellbooks, you probably will have to. You might it'll be tough to win game 1, but games 2 and 3, if you can pull out the prohibition or something else of that nature to stop them from fading you, and then switch over the Acid Golem, you should be all right. But anyway, so this is what we're going to do here. So we're going to build our Mermail deck around Bahamut Shark and Acid Golem of Destruction. We're going to be switching it over to the opponent's side. So we're going to be using Creature Swap and a card called Mystic Box to switch over our Acid Golem to their side of the field. And then basically we're just going to burn them to death. And prevent them from lock them down and prevent them from special summoning, and that effect right there really hurts a lot of decks, especially even in the mirror match of other mermails. This will hurt them. So with that, we're going to get into the deck profile in a couple of seconds. Okay, so now we're going to get into the deck profile. So first we have 3 Atlantean Dragoons, 1 heavy infantry, 3 marksmen, 3 deep sea diva, 2 Veiler, 2 maxi, triple abyss Linde, triple abyss pike, 3 creature swap, 1 dark hole, 1 heavy storm, 1 reborn, 3 mystic box. And basically, this is basically like creature swap, but you target 1 monster your opponent controls, destroy that target, and then change control of 1 monster you control over to your opponent. So this is just another way to switch over Acid Golem. There's 3 Mystical Space Typhoon, 1 Pot of Avarice, 2 Duality, 2 Salvage, and then triple Abyss Sphere. So the great thing about this deck is it's really easy to get it off. All you really need is a land or a sphere, a pike, a spike in hand, or a dragoons in hand, and then creature swap or mystic box. So you really only need like this, say this, and then this. So it's really, you really only need 3 cards basically. And what you're gonna do is set land if you go first, have them attack over it, special summon spike, use its effect if you can. If you can't, whatever. And then normal summon spike, overlay for shark, and then get Acid Golem and switch it over. So it's really simple, really easy. And you have Abyss Sphere to help you get your land. So if you don't have land, you can have Abyss Sphere, or you can just play like standard, or you can play standard mermails. Well, not standard mermails because you don't. But what I like to do also is go Deep Sea Diva into heavy infantry, normal summon a marksman in my hand, go for Gungnir, activate its effect, salvage. There's a lot of, you still have tons and tons of combos that you wouldn't normally have that you have in mermails. The only difference is there's no Megalo and no Abystia, so it's slower in the sense that your best turn is set one, but it's not that slow because you only need 1 turn to set up. So I'll go over the extra deck real quick. We've got 1 Catastor, 1 Black Rose, 1 Gungnir, 1 Mistworm, 1 Scrap Dragon, 1 Stardust Dragon, Abyss Dweller, 2 Bahamut Shark, 1 Gachi, and then Gaga Cowboy, Maestroke, 2 Acid Golem, and then Zen Mains. Some cards that that's the extra deck. So basically, as I said before, you really only need 3 cards. Once you get that, all they need is a monster on field, which it's not hard to have. It's not a hard condition to meet. They have a monster, then you creature swap it, give them Acid Golem, and then if they don't have any answers to Acid Golem, right in their hand, then they're gonna be in some deep trouble. Again, not mermails. In the mirror match, Dragon Rulers as well as Evil Swarms, they do not want to deal with Acid Golem. And like as I said before, they really only have one out. Mermails only have one out. That's Dark Hole. And Evil Swarms only have one out. That's Dark Hole that I can think of off the top of my head. And Dragon Rulers, since they don't typically play Dark Hole, their only out is having Blaster plus another Fire Monster, which um, isn't too difficult in Dragon Rulers, but still sometimes they may not have those two fire monsters that they need in hand to get rid of Acid Golem, and they can't special summon because of Acid Golem's effect. So this is the deck profile, and we'll get into some videos showcasing the deck in a couple of seconds. Alright, so we're going to do a couple of duels against Maria here and showcase our Mermail deck. So she's going to be playing Evil Swarms in game 1, and then in the second clip she's going to be playing Dragon Rulers. And you guys are going to see her progression as a duelist in this video as well, so it's multi-purpose. So my opening hand is pretty good. I'm going to duality. Sometimes I don't like to duality though because I don't want to reveal what I'm playing. Certain cases I don't want to reveal what I'm playing too early, and sometimes it's just unavoidable because you have a bad hand. It does help you if your hand is kind of bad to get what you want. So sometimes I have mixed feelings about duality at times, but I've got a pretty good hand here, so I'm just going to set the Abyss Sphere. I'm gonna go for I was gonna go for Diva, but I was like, oh, I forgot that you can't special summon with duality. But we've got a good hand here, so as long as she doesn't have any shenanigans, we should be good. So she's gonna go for the Thunderbird, set 1. I'll take 650, and here I forgot to, I misplayed hard as hell. I forgot to activate Abyss Sphere. No, I didn't misplay. I was waiting for Ophion. What are you talking about? I wanted to show you guys something, but I pulled into a creature swap, which is really good. I'm gonna go for the effect. She effect Veilers me, which was, I was annoyed at that, but it's cool. I hope, and I'm like, okay, I have creature swap now, so here's the thing. So she's gonna hit me for 14 and 1650 again. And here's an important ruling that's going to come up soon. You guys are going to see. So now she's going to overlay for her Ophion. I'm like, this is perfect because I can show the people how this deck works against the Mermail's dreaded rivals. So she's going to get the Pandemic. Obviously, one of those set cards is Pandemic. Now during the end phase, I'm going to be smart this time. Should have done it last turn, and this game would have been a lot easier for me, but I didn't. So I'm going to special summon the Lind, and then during the end phase, Lind is going to be destroyed because of Abyss Sphere, and then I get Lind's effect. You guys should know how this works by now. Special summon that Abyss Pike, and then I'm going to ditch a Marksman, and then I added another Marksman, and I think for a second I thought you can only add Mermail monsters at one point, and then I was like, but then I remembered that it's actually Sea Serpent, level 3 or lower, water type, I think, not Sea Serpent. So I actually hit a D Prison, which is really, really good. So here I'm gonna go Marksman again, or Spike or Pike again. It's not Abyss Spike, it's Abyss Pike. And here's where I was like, wait, can I even get an Atlantean monster? But then I reread it for a second, and then you can get a monster that's non-Atlantean. So now I'm thinking about what to pop there. Hit the Pandemic, which was I should have hit the other one because I knew that one was Pandemic. So then here I'm going to overlay for Shark, and I think I actually did forget to add with Pike, but I guess it doesn't matter. So now I'm going to overlay for Shark, special summon that Acid Golem. Now here's where I'm going to creature swap, and here's where the important ruling comes, because Maria thought, and most players might think this, that Ophion is unaffected because of the Pandemic, but actually creature swap affects the players. It says each player chooses a monster. So actually, even with Pandemic, Ophion can still be switched over by creature swap because creature swap affects the players. So that's the same thing with Waboku. So if they activate Infestation Pandemic and then you chain Waboku, or then you activate Waboku during the battle phase, you still don't take damage because Waboku affects the players. It doesn't affect the monster. So that's why you can still creature swap Ophion even after the Pandemic. So basically, I took her Ophion, and now she's locked down. She can't special summon, and she's going to take 2,000 damage during each of her standby phases. And it's basically now she has to. It becomes a game of if I do to draw a Dark Hole or to not draw a Dark Hole. And again, she has a 1 in 30 chance to draw a Dark Hole. And if she doesn't get it this turn, it's over. So she's gonna Lure of Darkness, try to pull into it, hope to get something. Doesn't look like I don't think she ended up getting it, unfortunately. She also forgot to take 2,000, so she took it there. So that's pretty much a good game right there. She didn't draw into Dark Hole, and again, if it comes down to I need Dark Hole in order to get out of this, you know your chances are more often than not you're going to win the game because it's just hard whenever you're trying to pull for one card. You know, as many players know, sometimes you just don't get it. Sometimes players get the super hacks and have the heart of the cards, but other times they don't. So she just drew into Phoenix Chain, and she was saying she wished she had that last turn. She also had BLS, which I completely stopped her from doing, and also so that's that duel, and we'll get into the next one. Alright, so this time Maria's going first, and she's playing Dragon Rulers, and a bit of backstory about this duel. We had played once before, and she actually made a huge misplay. She had me on the ropes. She should have won the game. My hand wasn't too great, and I switched over the Acid Golem to her, but she had another monster on the field, and during her turn, she forgot that she could actually tribute for the Dragon Rulers, which, in Maria's defense, she hasn't had to tribute summon much, because, the way the game is now, when do you ever really tribute summon for everything nowadays? But anyway, so she lost that game, but she didn't want me to put that one up because she felt embarrassed that she made the misplay, so I was like, alright, I'll rematch you. So here we go. This is the rematch, and I'm going up against Dragon Rulers, and the first turn hacks is already happening. dracossack plus 4 new cards. I mean, when it's hard to beat Dragon Rulers when they have these type of hands. I mean, sometimes you're just going to lose if they open up like this because they're just that good. And I mentioned about Dark Hole before. The reason why they don't play Dark Hole is because they figure, hey, I don't need Dark Hole. If you have something that I don't like, I'm just going to take it with Big Eye. Forget destroying it. Why would I do that when I can just take it for myself? And, I guess I can understand that, logic, but at the same time, you never know when you're going to need Dark Hole. Sometimes you just need to clear the field so you can OTK. Hey, there's nothing wrong with not going for an XYZ. Dark Hole the field, then special summon all your monsters and attack for game. Whatever happened to that? Good old-fashioned Yu-Gi-Oh! But, anyway, so I opened up okay. I really wish I had gone first, because I would have been definitely fine if I had gone first, but I didn't. So now I have to deal with that. And going second against Dragon Rulers is not a good thing. They can just really spam the field and put you in a bad position, especially if they go for the lad, first turn lad, and you don't have the deck that can deal with it. So she's going for a whole bunch of hacks right now. So she attacks my Lind with the Thunder Charger, so I take some damage. I choose not to activate the effect because I want to wait till the end phase, because I know her dracossack can attack, and I'm just going to take this 28 from Blaster, and then during the end turn, then activate Sphere for Lind and activate that Lind's effect, because I felt like that was the best way to handle this situation. So I'm going to do that right now, and then end phase, do the Abyss Sphere, Abyss Lind shenanigans. And as I was talking about the deck and the deck profile, it's really easy to get this off. I mean, you really only need 3 cards, and all of those are at 3. So she's gonna break through skill my Abyss Pike, but it's fine. I'm still gonna pay the cost for the effect. Pop that Thunder Charger. I want to get that thing off the field. I also want to get rid of that token, so I'm gonna go Abyss Pike, no effect. Just get rid of that token so I can Mystic Box the dracossack. Now here, what I'm going to do is hope she doesn't have Valor. Doesn't look like she has Valor, so that is the one problem with this deck, though. It really gets hurt by Valor. But the thing is that a lot of decks aren't really playing that many. Valor kind of fell off the face of the earth in a sense. I know Elemental Dragon players play it, and Spellbook players sometimes they play it, but other than that, people aren't really playing it as much for whatever reason. But now this turn, I gave her Acid Golem. Now she doesn't have any chance to tribute summon for them. So what she's doing here, she's basically trying to thin her deck because she needs to get Blaster plus another Fire Monster again, because Dragon Ruler players don't play that Dark Hole. She has to hope that she can get Blaster plus another Fire Monster. So basically, she's just thinning her deck so that she can potentially draw another Fire Monster. And as you can see, they can't do anything. I mean, they could, set down one of the little baby dragons, I guess, but what good would that really do her at this point? So I'm just gonna settle in, just in case something happens. I have some protection with the Lind. And it's basically Blaster or Bust for Elemental Dragon. Just like it, when it comes down to that, sometimes you just don't get that. And when it comes down to drawing, you need one card. Most of the times you're not gonna get it. Just the law of percentages. That's the way it works. But she did a really good job of thinning her deck, and I believe she actually does pull into a Blaster or another Fire Monster this turn to activate Blaster's effect, so she can get rid of that Acid Golem, get that Acid Golem off her field. But the great thing about this is that when you use Blaster's effect, that's one less Elemental Dragon that she can use use to bring out onto the field. So basically, she can only go for one XYZ monster and then one monster. So that's another good thing about Asgolem is they can only go for one XYZ, so they can't truly spam the field. So she opts to go for dracossack here. I guess she didn't go for Big Eye because I mean, taking my monster really wouldn't help her that much, I guess, or maybe maybe just a big play. I guess she decided that killing it, getting rid of it altogether would be the better option, and so she attacks over my Lind, and I'm gonna get a Spike, Pike. I keep saying Spike. It's hard not to say Spike, and I don't get the effect because I need my Diva. And here I'm thinking like I know one of these cards has to be a breakthrough, so I have to hit the breakthrough. So I do hit the breakthrough. So now I'm just thinking like, what can I do to get rid of this? Because this is the hard thing. I was really in a tough spot here. I was thinking. How can I get over this? And I said, okay, you know what? Since I know it's elemental dragons, I know the back row isn't that good. I'm just gonna go for Mistworm. So I'm gonna go for Diva into Marksman, then just go for Mistworm, bounce those back, and for game. But now it took me a while to actually go for that because I thought that Mistworm was you could only send up. I thought it was only 2. I misread it wrong the first time. But it was actually 3. So I thought I was like, oh wait, if I bounce dracossack and whatchamacallit back, the other dragon ruler, then I'll still have the token to deal with, and I won't win, and she can game me next turn. But then I reread the effect, and I was like, oh wait, it says 3, so I'm good. This is gonna work. So once I finally figured that out, I decided to go for it. So Diva into Marksman. I didn't get Veiler. A Veiler would have really hurt me right there. And I don't know what I was thinking. Oh, this is where I rechecked it because I was like, maybe I can go for Catastor, do something else. But I was like, wait, I don't need to do that. I'm stupid. I go for Mistworm. I send 3 cards back, and now her field's blank. So if she doesn't have Mirror Force or anything like that, or Deep Prison, which they don't have because they're too cocky to play those cards, I'm gonna win. So that was a really amazing game. Great game, Maria. Viewers, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and see a new way to play Mermails. Don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, all that good shit, and I'm out of here. Deuces.